answer.
Wow. Look at your eye.
What a difference.
And with still just a tap, a strength and flexibility harmonizer.
Yeah, I definitely felt something different.
This is the Vitalizer. In the App Store on any smartphone, a simple download that will embed specific frequencies and vibrations into your phone's light photons and sound waves. Calibrations designed to affect taste.
The Vitalizer one is better than the other one, for sure.
Hydration, absorption, feel silkier, and perhaps most incredibly, your strength, flexibility, and energy. Amazing.
Wow. Crazy.
Well, salud. I'm loving it.
Go to www.vitalizerapp.com and make your smartphone brilliant.
The opinions expressed on the following sponsored program are strictly those of the host, guests, and callers, and not necessarily those of this station, its staff, management, or sponsors.
Hi, this is Faith. Welcome to the Faith Washington Show. We will discuss life, business, leadership, family, and fun, and what happens when your view of the world expands. A wide variety of guests will provide insight on how they do business, family, and leadership in their lives. So now, here's today's show.
Mic open.
Good evening, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us here on the Faith Washington Show. We are live on Facebook, Periscope, 95.3 FM, 1470 AM, and the iHeartRadio app, WWNN. Welcome, everyone. I have a really special guest tonight. This is Carolyn Zaumeyer. And Carolyn, since I didn't write anything down, I'm going to let you introduce yourself and tell us about what it is that you do. It's pretty amazing, folks.
I'm Carolyn Zaumeyer, nurse practitioner, and I see patients daily for bioidentical hormone replacement therapy. I started in gynecology and started to see how women were suffering through the menopausal years. Started with the synthetic hormones.
Even before menopause, pre.
And found that we had a solution, that we could make women and men feel better as time goes on. Because as we age, we naturally lose our hormones, our bodies stop producing both testosterone and estradiol, and we found if we can bring those levels back up to where we were maybe 10, 15 years ago, that you feel better, your energy is better, you sleep better, you just feel better about life, you have a better interest in sex, have sex more often.
Wait, what's the title of the show? Sex after 40. That's what we're going to talk about, folks.
And better sexual satisfaction.
No,
You
really?
think about sex a little bit more, and when you do have sex, it's like the fireworks are brighter. And many of my patients are saying that sex is even better than it was before when they were younger. So it's a fun chapter of our lives. It doesn't have to be sitting on the lazy boy watching TV anymore.
Really? Mm-hmm. You think?
I know.
You do. Yeah, because you've had thousands of patients come through, and you've been able to really discuss this with them and help them. And I think a lot of it is word of mouth too.
Absolutely.
Carolyn, with your business, and her business is actually in Fort Lauderdale. So patients will come to see you, they get a great result. About how long does it take once they've been pelletized?
It's really interesting because people will ask me, how soon will I feel the effects? And I've gotten many phone calls the very next day after we implemented treatment, and they say that they had slept better than they had in years. And just think about it, if you don't have a good night's sleep, it's so hard to have a good day. It's hard to feel good about anything.
And especially if you have children. You have a job, you have a business, you have multiple things that are going on in your life, and you have a spouse. Mm-hmm. You know something? When you feel crappy, you don't want to do anything. And that was something that we put in the post, is that if you don't feel great, you don't really want to have sex.
No, and then if you don't feel great, if you're not getting your sleep, if you don't have the energy, you don't feel like exercising, making better food choices, so you don't feel sexy, you're not rocking it. And so what we try to do is turn back the clock where you get your
mojo.
Get your mojo back. Exactly. Get your swagger, where you feel better, and so life is better.
Yes, agreed.
Yeah.
And I think that the difference that you're making in people's lives, one person at a time, one family at a time, really makes an impact on our society too, because we really are all about what is right in front of us. It's the phone.
Yeah.
The phone, the computer, your work, your employees, or the people that you work with, and it's just almost impossible when you feel like you're just spinning out of control.
Well,
especially, and I'm going to say this right out loud, especially for females. Mm-hmm. We have to multitask. We have so many things to do.
Right.
Normally, and I'm going to just normal, most men are going to go to work, and they're going to spend their day working, or they're going to go to their business, they're going to work, and then they're going to come home, and by the time they come home, the wife has worked, taken care of the kids, done the shopping, done the cleaning, cooking, getting things ready, and they're exhausted. So by the time the end of the evening comes, they're ready to just shut down and say, you know what, I love you, baby, but
but think about it from the man's perspective.
Which is horrible.
I've been told I have a man's brain.
And I do too.
After working hard, providing for their family, they come home and they expect some love and attention.
Right, because, and rightfully so. I think that is not an unreasonable expectation.
And what I find is I've had patients tell me, more than one, several in tears, that they had wished that their hormones had been optimized before they got divorced. That they felt that both them and their partner would have benefited from hormone optimization because they feel more like their old self. The people that got married, back to the old you, not the tired new you.
And that's not fair to either party. It's not fair to the men, it's not fair to the women, that if you are not engaged and you don't feel sexually active or like you want to engage your partner, it takes something away from that relationship.
Oh, you have to have intimacy to maintain the relationship. Without the intimacy, it's hard to keep a relationship going.
It's impossible. You can't.
Yeah.
Men are very visual, sexually driven creatures. It's not that it's a bad thing.
Right.
It just is. So if you go with what is, and work with that, and get the bioidenticals, then you're improving that intimacy in that relationship.
Well, I've worked a lot with Suzanne Summers, and one of her sayings is that if more people had hormone optimization, we'd have
fewer divorces.
Well,
did you hear that? Fewer divorces.
Fewer
folks.
divorces, less war, and everybody would just get along better. And it really is interesting that people are kinder to each other when their hormones are optimized. All this road rage and everything.
You're absolutely right. I don't think that can be overstated.
Yeah.
I think that there's a lot of that goes on that we don't even put a thumb on.
Yeah.
We don't give it any credence.
Yeah.
But people are upset. They're angry because their lives are screwed up. They're messed up.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to feel that way.
No, I remember before I optimized my own hormones, my goal at the end of the day was to feed and walk my dogs, put my jammies on, pour a mug of wine, and hit the couch. I was just beat. I didn't want to go out. I didn't want to do anything.
Right, and the alcohol makes it worse.
Absolutely.
People anesthetize themselves. They want to drink. They want to smoke marijuana. They want to do whatever it takes so that they can feel like they don't feel anything.
Yeah, I see so many people on so many, 2 and 3 antidepressants at a time.
You love that? Wait, okay, that's my arena as a pharmacist.
She loves this.
I hate antidepressants.
Yeah. And then the sleep medications. Yes,
oh, wait,
sleep
it's diazepam and zolpidem, and everybody's sick, and their brain, they can't remember anything. No wonder why.
Yeah.
They're all anesthetized.
And what we found is once we optimize your hormones, a lot of times we can taper off the antidepressants, the anti-anxiety medication,
and the sleep
medication, because you're getting a nice, delicious sleep. So try to get away from the prescription pad. Go back to the root of the problem, and it's hormones.
Agreed. And they can find you at LowTE Florida, FLORIDA.com. That's LowTEFlorida.com. Phone number is 954-791-4498, and you can reach Carolyn Zaumeyer, nurse practitioner, and her staff, and they're amazing. And please come in and get a free consult with her so that you understand what it is that you're missing out on and how you can improve your life. It's so incredibly important. And you do the bioidentical pellets.
Yes.
Can you just briefly explain what those
Absolutely.
are? And how you insert them?
Yes. Well, what we're able to do is to scientifically dose the pellets for you. We know exactly what your body's going to benefit from by taking a quick medical history and then also analyzing your blood, putting it together in a computerized program and giving you a printout of exactly what your body's going to benefit from, because we not only optimize the hormones but the thyroid as well. A sluggish thyroid can give the same effects as sluggish hormones.
That's a very big deal. I have thyroid issues, and it is
so you don't want the patient leaving still not with everything that they need. So we optimize the hormones, optimize the thyroid, and then optimize the nutrients. Our printout actually tells you exactly how much vitamin D3 with K2 you need, how many, omega-3s, probiotics, iodine, the whole bit. So you have a nice plan to get yourself feeling better.
And you guys also, we know that you developed a supplement. We're going to get to that. But what part does nutrition and exercise play in this once you've gotten the hormones into the body? What part does that play? I mean,
it's major. It's major because what we have is a pellet that's absorbed and it's cardio released, meaning as your blood is passing by the little pellets, it's picking up little micro pieces of it.
Okay.
So if your heart rate is up, whether it's stress or exercise, you're going to pick up more. You're going to get a better workout. You'll be able to rebuild muscle. You'll be able to lift heavier, run further. Absolutely.
Women and men.
Both men and women, yes.
And what's the major hormone that makes people feel great?
Well, I think the sexy, happy hormone is testosterone.
Yeah, we like that.
Yeah, but a lot of women, going through menopause, estrogen, a lack of estrogen, can really wreak havoc on their lives, and so we evaluate that as well, and we do.
That's with your blood work and the tests that you do.
Yeah,
so
we want to give you what you need.
Balance, right? Instead of just giving something straight across the board, okay, everybody gets the same thing.
That's what we used to do with the synthetics. Yes.
Right, you're literally customizing a plan and a program for your
patients. The hormones are not a one-size-fits-all. We need to look at the patient, look at the blood work, the whole bit.
Yeah, it's so incredibly important. And like we talked about this before, that is, if you don't feel great, you don't want to have sex, and your hormones naturally decrease. And one of the things that we talked about before the show is that women have lists. People have lists. They go through the list. It's a list all day long, and the phone, and the kids, and this and that. And at any point in your life, whether it's your late 20s, early 30s, age, what age do you see most frequently when your patients are like they've already hit rock bottom, and they're thinking, someone help me?
The interesting part is women start to lose their testosterone in their late 30s, men in their late 20s, and early 30s for men. And it can be a quick drop or a slow drop. I've had some men in my office in their 20s that have a lower testosterone level than their father that I tested the same day. The father's in the 600s, this guy's in 125. It's a wide
insane
range, but it is, and it's happened more than once. I've got like 5 young guys that they're in.
What do you attribute that to? Because that's got to be something.
That's
there has
a tough
to be
one.
Food. Something is blocking either their uptake of the hormone testosterone into the muscle cells or onto the binding sites, or something's going on.
Yeah, it's been really frustrating for me because I really want to help these guys. And what we found is that the sex hormone binding globulin will be high.
Okay.
And that's a protein that's produced by your liver that binds up the androgens and the estrogen. And we have found that there is a natural root from Malaysia that helps release that and helps get that testosterone so you actually feel the benefits of all of it in your system, whether you're producing it by yourself or if you're bringing it in from bioidentical hormones or even synthetic hormones.
So
it can help release it from the sex hormone binding globulin.
So in other words, this particular supplement, which is called Free TE, is something that will help patients that have that sex hormone binding globulin that's not right. They're going to be able to take this and notice a difference.
Exactly. What it kind of does is it gives you the most benefit of your testosterone, whether you're producing it yourself or bringing it in. It helps with your muscle strength. It helps with your stamina. It helps with your sex drive. For men, it helps with erection issues. It has a lot of good. That's what they were originally using it for in Malaysia, was for male vitality. It actually helps increase their sperm count. So people that are trying
increases the sperm count.
It helps with that, and
that's interesting because that could be used in people who are trying to get pregnant.
Exactly.
Oh wow, this is a major
It's really
use.
good stuff. I mean, I'm so excited about it.
I would be excited too because it sounds like the uses for it are endless. So pretty much most of your patients should be on this no matter
Everybody,
what.
if you're going through times where you're not feeling your best, it could be your first approach. Optimizing your hormones, of course, is my passion, and that's what we do. But if you're not able to do that, or you want to just take a step into it, this can give you some benefit. But we would like to at least have you come in and talk.
Right.
But we do sell it on our website on LowTEFlorida.com. We have a launch price of $29.99.
Oh, that's great. You know what? That's
for
really
a little bit.
That's really very reasonable.
Yeah.
And the product is actually a root of a tree, and it's called Uricoma longifolia. Another common name for it is
Long Jack.
Long Jack. So, like, if you're into herbs and you're not really sure about the genus and species, then Long Jack is what this would be
Right,
termed
but the
as.
patented extract is called
Very
Tonga
different.
Ali. Yeah,
Right.
and it was patented through with MIT and the country of Malaysia. They got together and brought it to the United
And
States.
that's what you have. That's what you've created
yes,
right
and
here.
there's over 13 human studies that are very good studies showing the benefits for weight loss, for sexual enhancement, for stamina, for exercise.
So this is like an overall kind of feel-good type of herbal
It gets the body,
supplement.
it gets the testosterone floating, so you can actually feel the benefits of it. So once in a blue moon, we'll have somebody that's not really responding to the therapy,
Yeah,
even
you
though
call them non-responders. prior to
non-responders,
the
where you're
show.
giving them and giving them and giving them, and then you test their sex hormone binding globulin, and what you're giving them is binding up, and it's not free floating, so they can feel the good news.
So it's like a waste.
So
those hormones are literally in the body being wasted because
right.
they're
they're floating around, but
Right.
they're not doing anything.
Okay.
They're not giving you the love and feeling. And so this helps release those so that you can feel good.
Okay.
So it's an interesting supplement. I mean, even just from like the human studies of like 3 weeks, there is a weight reduction. I mean, so it's a good
So
thing.
men and women.
Men and women.
Do you notice the body fat, or is it just weight overall?
No, it's body
the
fat.
body fat.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah,
all right.
yep.
'Cause that,
Helps
I
lean
like
them out.
I like to know that.
Yeah.
So once again, guys, it is the website is LowTE Florida FLORIDA.com. The phone is 954-791-4498 on the screen there for Facebook and Periscope. That is honestly quite fascinating, and you guys came up with this.
We found it
You
because
found
I
it.
was so intrigued, trying to find an answer for my young guys, because
Right.
pelleting a 25-year-old is not the answer.
Doesn't make sense.
No, because the
Makes no sense
pelleting
at all.
actually helps stops the production of testosterone.
Right, you don't want to stop their natural production
No, I
at
want to
29
enhance it.
years
And there is
old.
medication they can use, but
Okay.
it just as a supplement to it, we want to give them this so that they can free up whatever they're producing to get the best benefit.
Right. Now, what about your older patients? What about your patients and the gentlemen in their 60s?
Oh, they would definitely benefit from it too. Absolutely,
So in other words,
of any age.
So
Yeah.
getting pelleted, but also taking the free
Yes.
TE.
Yes, my oldest patient is 88 that I'm optimizing
Sweet.
the hormones, and he's still having sex. So there's definitely sex after 40. Sex after
Really?
80 is our next talk, yeah.
Sex after 80 is the next show, folks. We're not there yet.
No. Not even close.
Oh my gosh, I love it. All right, so the supplement releases the hormone into the body so that it can be utilized, and what are the benefits? We talked about that a little bit before.
The benefits are basically those of your testosterone enhancement, what you would hope for that, your mental clarity, your better sleep.
Oh wait, mental clarity. Let's talk about that,
Releases
because
the brain fog.
Because that's something, we always think about. I think about thyroid, when your adrenal glands are pumping out way
Right.
too much adrenaline, noradrenaline, and that mental clarity, if you could get that also by having the pellets and the free TE, seriously?
I've been correcting a gentleman, he's an attorney in town, and I've been correcting him for years, and he says he knows when he needs to call me is he gets his brain fog and his ability to focus is
Goes
diminished.
down.
Yeah, he's
Okay.
trying to work on a project and his mind just keeps going left and right, and he says he knows, and then once he's corrected, he's back on his game. And for professionals, as we're aging and the younger millennials are coming and nipping at our heels,
Right.
we got to stay on our game, and this helps with that.
But we're also, we also need to stay on our game because we need to mentor. We need to mentor the millennials. They've got this wonderful, broad limitless possibilities within their minds, and yet they lack the discipline that we as the older generation have to share with them so that they can stay focused and complete tasks as they need to. And if this increases mental clarity and acuity, I'm all for it.
Absolutely. I mean, just having your hormones in line, just think about how you felt maybe 10, 15 years ago. I know you're a rock star and you still feel like a teenager, but
Who said that?
For everybody else. The other thing about this, what I like, is it helps reduce your cortisol levels. And so many of us are functioning under such high stress that if we can reduce the cortisol levels, it helps us naturally slim down, helps us feel better. I mean, our poor little adrenals.
Exactly. Explain to our audience what that reduction of cortisol means and why does your cortisol go up?
You tell me.
Well, cortisol goes up when you're under major stress. Let's say you are feeling overwhelmed. Feeling overwhelmed is nothing but a feeling. And if you shift how you feel, then you shift how the body actually responds. That's all about. I know she
likes talking about this. That's why I threw it back to her.
You're so good to me. It's all about your brain. We have frontal lobes, and once those frontal lobes are synced, you can do some different types of meditation. You can do hemispheric holosync, things that actually bring the left and right hemisphere together so that they're functioning as one. It makes a huge difference in how you respond to stressors. But when people don't know these things and they're just going through life and they're just pounding and they're plowing through, then those levels of cortisol go up. Your adrenal glands, which are a little gland on top of the kidney, pump out this particular hormone, and it causes an increase in body fat, it causes an increase in weight, it causes brain fog, it makes you feel like you want to die. I've been there.
I think it really increases anxiety too.
It does. It does. Yeah. And I think it also makes people depressed because they're not
feeling their best.
They're not feeling their best, and they're thinking, you know what? I really am doing everything I can possibly do, and I still feel really crappy. And that's not a good place to be. That lack of mental clarity and having those high levels really adds to the lack of hormones. So when you correct that, and check the thyroid too, as you said, check the what's going on with the adrenals, and when you level that off and take the free TE also, then they're going to decrease their body fat, they're going to feel better, they're going to increase their muscle mass, their mood is going to increase, they'll get off the antidepressants, they'll stop needing sleeping pills, and the body will be able to function as it's supposed to.
That's one of our premises, is that we want people to age healthier and live healthy, age healthier and live happier.
Yes,
and Dr. Donovitz, my medical director, has written a book, and it's available at our website for free. We'll mail it to you so that you can learn more about bioidentical hormones, not only the feel-good benefits, but the health benefits of having your hormones optimized as we head into our golden years.
Exactly. But you know what? The funny thing is that before we ever had the bioidenticals and we were able to optimize the hormones, people were pretty miserable. And, you know, at 50 years old, you would think, or 40 years old, you think, oh my gosh, you're ancient. You're on the way out. Yeah. Oh, you're going to die by the time you're 60. That's why, you know, the word retirement is should be trashed from our language. I don't know who came up with that word, but the reason I got into hormone therapy originally when I first came out of school is I was working with a physician out west, and he was a very good guy and very pro-nurse practitioner, very supportive. But I was sharing a desk with him, trying to learn as much as I could about managing patients, and I kept seeing psych referral on the menopausal patients. Finally, I went to him with a stack of charts, and I said, listen, they can't all be crazy. And he says, oh, yes, they are. He says, they're sweating, they're screaming, they're kicking, they're cranky, they're mean. He says, they need to go see a psychiatrist and get their life in order. And I said, well, can I have those patients? And he's like, well, God bless you, go forward, I'll go deliver babies. You know, and I said, okay. Right. So that's where my passion stemmed back in 100 years ago when I first came out of school, was from that, because then
I started working with these patients, and this is back in the days of Premarin. I mean, I was one of the biggest suppliers of Premarin.
Conjugated estrogens, dangerous stuff,
yeah,
man.
good stuff. But it made the ladies feel better, and so I kept getting the phone calls
temporarily
that they felt better, that they felt more like their old selves. Their husbands liked them better, they liked themselves better, and so that kind of kept me going with it. That we're on to something here. And then after the Women's Health Initiative in 2002, I thought we were going to have a world war if everybody quit prescribing the Premarin, and we didn't have an option. So that's when I really focused in on the bioidentical hormones and started studying that. And how did you get
introduced into the bioidenticals? Because you knew what standard allopathic medicine says. Okay, you got to do this, you got to do this.
It was just on my own because I was frustrated and I didn't want to write Premarin anymore. And so what I did is I searched out our nation's greats and I went and studied under them. Went to Salt Lake City, studied under Dr. Neil Rousier, went to Orlando, Naples, and then finally I was very frustrated because I'd come back all excited about the research of not only the feel good but the health benefits of it, but they weren't teaching me how to dose. And finally,
that was the key.
That was the key.
That was Gary, Dr. Gary.
Yep. A friend of mine, a doctor in Arizona, told me you got to go to Texas and study under Dr. Donovitz. And I'm like, well, what do I have to lose? I've been everywhere else.
Yep.
So I packed up, went to Texas, studied under him, and it all came together. He filled in my little gaps of knowledge, and then he taught me how to dose. And it was just like, once I had that, because my brain is fairly black and white, and I really want to do the right thing. I wanted to be able to give my patients the right hormone, bioidentical, the right amount, have it dosed personally for them, and also the right delivery system. The safest way to get hormones into your body is the pellet system. So,
which is a
so it all worked out, and
and he was on. Carolyn was on a couple months ago with Dr. Gary Donovitz, and that was a delightful show. If you go back on the Faith Washington Show page, you can scroll back and actually find that interview that I had both of you at, and it was really eye-opening. Yeah, the two of you together have a great synergy.
Oh yeah,
really
because
do.
We're like-minded because I took on his beliefs.
Yeah,
so
but the thing
I
is
learned from him.
That dosing piece of it.
It was critical.
No, it's critical for the patient.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's critical for the patient.
Yeah.
Without that, you know what? You can slap something into the body, but it doesn't mean that it's going to give them the optimal benefit.
Right.
Why just throw something in? That's the same thing as taking Premarin or,
absolutely.
or what have you, and that doesn't. We know that didn't work.
Yeah.
So very, very impressive.
I was the first BioTE provider with a pellet system in Florida.
And you are right now the #1 practitioner in the state of Florida, folks. So Fort Lauderdale, you want to go see Carolyn Zaumeyer and let her dose you, do your blood work, check yourself out, and also you're #2 in the nation, to my
I've been
understanding.
Busy. Yeah,
really busy. Wait, Alex and Bonnie can vouch for that. Oh my goodness! Listen, it's just so great to talk to you again, Carolyn.
It's always a pleasure, Faith.
It's such a pleasure. And folks, remember, free TE. You want to go down and you want to go to LowTEFlorida.com online. Please, please, please do yourself a favor. It's an investment. Go and see her and her team and let them help you. Life is short. Enjoy it while you're here. Sex after 40, sex at any age. It's a great thing. It's great for you, your family, for everyone involved. Thank you so much, folks, for joining us here on the Faith Washington Show. We are live on Facebook, Periscope, 95.3 FM, 1470 AM, and the iHeartRadio app, WWNN. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next week. Thank you, Carolyn.
Thank you.
You've been listening and watching The Faith Washington Show, where we have widened your view of the world. Our guests share their business, family, and fun life hacks to make your world better. Hope you've learned something to apply to your life and business.
The opinions expressed on the